me tell you about narcissistic shit. Cause my daughter's dad is a narcissist, and um, I don't see how other people don't see it, and maybe some people do see it, but they condone his behavior any fucking ways. So the most recent story that I was told, because he likes to tell me things that happen in his personal life. He likes to tell me about the women that he's fucking on. He likes to tell me about his adventures with the different girls that he be with, or when he starts dating one, what his intention is with her. That's always the main thing. He'll tell me like what his intention is with her. And it's usually he doesn't have good intentions with these females. And the common denominator that I thread together, that I put two and two together with, is that he'll tell me one of the women's or one of these females' weaknesses, and how he intends on playing on that so that it plays into his benefit, which I think is extremely sad as fuck. It's extremely sad as fuck. But anyways, so over the summer, me and my daughter's dad had an altercation where he came to my car, and I was sitting outside his house because I was taking to work or whatever like that, like the next morning. But I was sitting there because my daughter was over there or whatever. And so, and I was trying to debate. I'm like, should I just leave? And anyways, that's why I was sitting in my car. So me and my daughter had been sitting in my car for a little minute because, like I said, I was debating if I should leave or whatever. Because Spirit had just been telling me, like, stop dealing with this situation. This is not gonna get no better. And tell you the truth, it never gets any better. It just doesn't. And the reason that I try to keep him in the loop of things, because I want my daughter to have a relationship with her dad, for the simple reason that I did not have a relationship with my dad. I still don't have a good relationship with my dad. And then he doesn't have a relationship with his father either. And it's like, you would think, but at this point where shit is, it's just like, anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But let's backtrack. So over the summer, like I said, I'm sitting in my car, whatever like that. I got two phones. I'm thinking my daughter is on one of my phones or whatever, and he comes to the car, and he like, when he woke up, and I don't see him because I'm in thought or whatever, thinking about what I'm thinking about. So when I see him, it surprises me. It takes me off guard. Mind you, he had already been drinking and being in his feelings that day. So how this situation escalates, it escalates very quickly. So he's like, are you sleeping in your car? I'm like, I'm not sleeping in my car. I'm just sitting here. I'm thinking. He goes and makes it a big deal. It ends up becoming an argument. He's like, telling my daughter she need to get out the car and stuff. She looking at me. I'm talking to her. I'm like, baby, just chill. I'm really trying to not escalate the situation, because if, for those that know him, he is a real life crash out, and situations will escalate. And I'm trying not to go there, because for one, I don't want to continuously expose that to my daughter, like that arguing, fighting, yelling. Like, I didn't grow up like that. My family don't do shit like that. Now his family does. They are crash outs. They're loud, aggressive. They yell, they fight, they do all this in the presence of children. Again, I didn't grow up like that. I don't want my daughter to be around shit like that. But anyway, so I'm trying to de-escalate the situation as much as I possibly can. So he keeps telling my daughter to get out the car. She ends up getting out the car, and I walk around to the side, and I'm like, hey, just calm down. I said, what is the problem? What is your issue? You know what I'm saying? Just trying to keep it from just him screaming, me having to yell back. Like, all of that is unnecessary energy. Even talking about this shit just feel like it's so unnecessary. Make a long story short, y'all, he puts his hands like this so that I can't get to my daughter. He stretches his arms out. Now, the man is tall. So your wingspan of, why would you block me off from my child? That is extremely weird. She's my daughter. I'm not hurting her. Why would you block me off from talking to my daughter and being like, Why do you want her to get out the car? Like, I don't know. But you know, people who are I don't, and we know we throw the word narcissist around, but I've actually told this man he's a narcissist before, and the man said, that's not a bad thing. Have you looked up the meaning of what a narcissist is? And he really moves like one, and he's admitted to being one. So there's that. Um, but he, like I said, puts his arms out like this so that I can't talk to her. And he stands in front of me like, oh, I'm blocking you off from talking to her. She needs to go in the house. What? Why? I can't even wrap my mind around the reasoning that this person does the things that he does. So anyways, then he's like, come on. So I'm like, just let her see here. Like, I don't understand what's happening in this moment. I really don't, y'all. I don't understand what's happening. Explaining it to you guys, it doesn't make sense to me. So then he picks her up, as tall as my baby is, puts her on his hip, and he starts walking towards his house, which is like maybe like, I don't know, like 500, 400 feet, something like that. From where I'm parked at. So as he's walking, I reach for him to turn around because I'm still talking to him. So I reach and I pull like the back of his shirt. And I know I pulled the back of his shirt. Like, it wasn't like intentional to like go like that, but just be like, hey, I'm talking to you. The man turned around and open hand. Now, I've already tried to legally pursue this situation, and there's legally, like, in terms of him putting his hands on me, there's nothing I can do in regards to it. Because the police said that they won't do anything about it. But in regards to our past history, there's about 4 different domestic violence situations where he is just either came to one of my friend's house, made up a story that he had something was in my car, just different type of shit. He's hit me. He's hit my friend in the process of trying to get to me. The craziest shit. Do you understand? So anyways, that's what happened with us this summer. I distance myself from him, and this is not only myself but my daughter, because it's always this bullshit and him never admitting to it. Like, to this day, he still won't admit to it. And I'm like, I understand that I pulled on your shirt. I said, he said, oh, you pulled out my dread. No, I didn't. But he will exaggerate a story, and he'll say it so much that he'll convince everybody. So anyways, make a long story short, he's now dating this one female who boyfriend is supposedly, and I don't know this, is abusive to her and beats her up. And he had been telling me about the chick or whatever like that, because I told you, he tells me everything, and I don't know why he tells me the shit that he tells me, but he tells me about all the girls he dates, all the girls that he fucks, the ones that get pregnant, the ones that have abortions, the ones, even the situation with this chick that he dating now, how he beat up her boyfriend because the boyfriend or the baby daddy or whatever the fuck, the ex, beat her up. He was like, you couldn't even, I guess she was unrecognizable or some shit like that. But I'm just like, how you going around beating up people trying to be a vigilante, and you the one who be trying to put your hands on me when you don't have access to me? And I don't know what it is about my magical earth angel's ass that make this nigga be crazy. But this nigga be crazy about me. And it's sad. Like, it's not even cute. That's just not even cute. Like, there's nothing cute about that. But it's like, you go to great lengths to, like, be vigilantes to people. Be Captain Save-A-Hoe. I'm not calling these women hoes. But to, like, be seen in this light. But you can't even fucking just do the right thing, do the upstanding thing when it comes to me or my daughter. Like, if I be like, I'm cutting you off, I don't fuck with you, he will not fuck with my daughter until, I don't know, I guess he get bored and he realize he ain't got access, and then he start kicking up dust, and then you start going, like, he'll go to great lengths to, like, oh, I need to get my daughter, oh, I need to see my daughter, and then be like, you wouldn't even think about this baby. You don't even be thinking about her. But you will go, and it's like, it's emotional fucking turmoil. I had this one dude told me, he said, once you get a man, that nigga will probably leave you alone. But I feel like it shouldn't take all of that. You know? Me being single shouldn't equate to him fucking feeling like he can just, you know, do the shit that he do. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. But I'm saying all this to say that I deal with a real live narcissist, and that man got a bad spirit. And I feel bad for any female that come in contact with him. But the bitches be so stuck on him, or whatever he be telling him. He be telling them or whatever. But like, to the point where they be thinking like, bitch, I want him. I don't want him. Ma'ams. I don't want him. Y'all shouldn't even want him. Nobody should want him. I don't know. I feel like I've had this conversation with one of the little current chick that he fucking with, and I feel like if a female told me some shit like that, and granted I know everybody got a past, but if I know that you are and she know, I'm a spiritualist, like, and not a spiritualist, but you know that, and I know you can't trust everybody spiritually, right? Because some people are projectors. Some people are monitoring spirits. Some people don't really know who they are in the spirit, right? But if I have a conversation with Scorpio, Scorpio reading popped up, and I was going to say something about that too. Thank you, Spirit. If I know that, if I see who you are in the spirit, like if I'm talking to you, and I don't know what it is about me being a Scorpio, because there was some correlation that I was going to make to that. But if I know when speaking to me, and I know everybody don't have the spirit of discernment, because if they did, they would make better decisions, and i.e. they wouldn't be dealing with a situation like that, right? But if I have the, I don't know, I just feel like people, I'm a trustworthy person, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate to be the one to be like, trust me, but no, bitch, trust me. One thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to lie. Anything that I crash out on is because I've said it or I've given it multiple chances over and over and over and over and over and over again. And once I have been pushed to a limit, I mean beyond the limit, like the limit, you exceeded the limit 3 times ago, and I still try to create this space to be like, yo, chill the fuck out, and you still be on what you on, like, you just don't want to, like, you don't want to do nothing better. Like, that's where you are. But anyways, we know that everybody's emotional states are different, and that, you know, some people don't have the ability to put boundaries in place because they're looking for people to emotionally support them and validate them and pour into them. So when you're in a weaker state of mind or a weaker space, or you're emotionally susceptible or vulnerable to certain things, it's harder for you to make critical decisions that will eventually save your life, save you the energy or the expense of dealing with something that you shouldn't have been involved with. And I get that because I've been there before. So I understand that, right? That we you know, sometimes we are more vulnerable and we're more susceptible to things that we shouldn't have tolerated or accepted or dealt with, right? And sometimes that emotional vulnerability can be because we choose not to be emotionally vulnerable to things. And so we just go, oh, it's okay. I'm just going to deal with it. Well, logically, it makes sense for me to be in this situation because of X, Y, and Z. And sometimes we deal with shit because we're just like, well, I mean, it kind of helps me, kind of it validates me, it gives me this, I get something out of it. So, everybody's different. I understand that. But I feel like I'm saying all that to say that given circumstances where someone is telling you that something has happened and they are very adamant about it, that's just like you listening to someone telling you that they dealt with any type of abuse, and you say, oh, well, that's who they used to be. Like, I don't know. I don't know. To me, if you are an abuse survivor and you hear somebody telling you that they've dealt with abuse, and you go and you be with the person that they told you that they were abused from, there is something really wrong with you. There's something very wrong with you. Nobody sits up here and makes up abuse allegations. Who does that? I don't care if it was emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, psychic abuse, physical, whatever it is, because I've experienced both. I've been spiritually attacked, physically, emotionally, you know what I'm saying? All of these things. And you can tell the person who's doing it that they're doing it, and they'll deny it. Now that in itself needs to be studied. That person needs help. But when you know that something is happening to you and that you're experiencing it, and you tell other people who have experienced it, or someone who's a current victim of that situation, like this has happened, and that person still go off and deal with. Ma'am, you need a psych eval. You need a psych eval. I'm in counseling for a multitude of reasons. Something that I should have did 16 years ago. Okay? I should have did this shit 16 years ago. And I would say like maybe 10, 12 years ago, I realized I wanted to do it, but I just never took the opportunity. But now that I'm doing it in this moment, it is so wonderful because I'm a person who will intellectualize my feelings, because for the past 16 years, for a majority of the last 16 years, I have been basically unsupported emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And the strong, almost cried. The strong friend. It's so funny because I did a reading I did a personal reading this weekend, and I am a cry. I am sensitive, and so I don't mind shedding a tear, right? But for the sake of this story, I don't want to, get super emotional, and just because if I start crying, I'm not gonna be able to breathe. I'm already dealing with this stupid ass congestion. It's out of this world terrible. Like this is almost like the third week where I've been so congested. I'm talking about it's coming out of from my throat to my nose, my eyes be crusty, ears constantly are plugged up, and so I can't afford to cry right now because I need to be able to breathe. You understand? But with going to counseling is creating a space for me to be like, oh, that wasn't right. I shouldn't have accepted that. I shouldn't have tolerated that. Because we're so used to, not we're, but maybe some of you guys as well, that I've become accustomed to learning how to always utilize the energy of being strategic in how I'm moving in life. And that is a red flag. It's a telltale sign that I have been in multiple situations where I couldn't be vulnerable, because if I was vulnerable, or if I was weakened, and then that's when I got attacked, because people in those spaces or environments that I was in, which were majority were familiar spaces, faces, family, extended family, where they would I felt like I would drop my guard and then I would be attacked. The funny thing is that, yeah, I don't know. No further comment. We ain't gonna open up too many can of worms. We're gonna take a little bit. We're gonna open up the top. We ain't gonna do too much. We're gonna open up the top. Okay. So, with that being said, yeah. This has been one hell of an experience, and it's a lot. I'm exhausted just talking about it, but yeah, I feel like we're in the year of the snake, and for me, the year of the snake has, not only is it like the Kundalini, it's Kundalini energy, it's the snake eating itself, it's the understanding why these cycles, or a cycle, has created itself. I don't know what anybody else has said about the year of the snake, but for me, I am understanding why this cycle started. So for me personally, it literally feels like not only is it going back to childhood, but it's also going back to, things transpiring, what happened 16 years ago, which for me was when my mother passed away. And for me, with my mom, that was my security. That's the person who got me. That's the person who's going to be like, oh, I peeped that. I see that person ain't treating you right. I see this person, that person's full of shit. I see this person, da 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 da. I see. So now I have to see for myself. And it's like my seeing has to be on fucking point, because I got to be able to see it from a mile away. And not only when you see it from a mile away, but see it and be like, and clock it and be like, nah, watch that bitch. Matter of fact, tell that bitch, don't you bring your bitch ass over here. Because I see you already on bullshit. Stay the fuck where you at. Don't you come over here with that shit. And for me, I don't know. I'm making this correlation, like my South Node is the one that's like, clock that shit. Because that's what happened in our past life, bitch. Clock it. Because that's what happened in the past life, bitch. I don't think so. Real talk. But anyway, I just be rambling. I be wanting to put this shit on YouTube, but I don't never know what to name this shit. But I'll be putting my little stories on YouTube. Maybe one day somebody will see them and then they'll be like, she just be talking, but I like listening. She just be rambling. Girl, what you be talking about today? So anyways, clock that shit when you see it. Okay, bye.